rather than resolutions and good intentions. I invite you to start the new year with a plan from the inside out. So let's get started.
Welcome to the I'm Perfectly Divine podcast, a place for the strong, sensitive, spiritual seeker to recognize the perfection of your human to bridge both the emotional and spiritual worlds through proven and grounded frameworks that support you to live in the wholeness you already are. For over the past 2 decades, I have supported people from all around the world, as well as Fortune 500 companies, to dissolve the divisions within them and live with greater empowerment and love. This podcast is an exploration of the paradoxes that befuddle us as we live our lives being both human and divine. Together, you and I, along with other experts, will navigate integrating psychology and spirituality, the divine feminine and the divine masculine, the darkness and the light, to create greater sacred union from within. I believe through your remembering that you are innately divine, that you will allow yourself to more openly shine. So let's get to it, because your unique light is needed more than ever.
Hello and welcome back, beautiful souls. Here we are, depending when you're listening to this, at the end, the very end of the year or the very beginning of a new year. So happy new year to you, and to support you to make this upcoming year profound, powerful, and ready for the expansive version of you. I want to guide you beyond New Year's resolutions, beyond good intentions, and really support you to develop a plan from the inside out. And so today is really about giving you an experience of walking you through an inner process so you can get clear on some aspects internally that are going to be here to support you as to where to focus on as we start 2025. And I'm excited for this because this is going to give you different information than I think you're used to receiving about this whole time of starting anew, starting fresh. But there is some beauty to that. And I think there is a part of us that gets geared up after the holidays where it's like, okay, let's get my ducks in a row and get my life in order, because your heart has this natural guidance where it's ready for expansion. And at the same time, we are really working on the inner peace or aspects that allow us to grow so that we can fully step into who we are meant to become in 2025. And the more conscious we can be about this, the more powerful the process will be. So I invite you to take some time for yourself. You can pause, you can get a journal out, and we can do this process together to really support some uncovering for you and what will internally support you and your growth. So remembering as well that we want to take this time for ourselves to get into greater alignment with your essence. And in doing so, feel more love and expansiveness within. And we can't just do this on the fly. I mean, we want to be able to give ourselves the time and space to go inward, really, so that we're not chasing our tails, so that in the short term, this energy we put towards ourselves pays off in the long term. You're going to feel, after doing this process with me, that instead of taking one step forward, 2 steps back in this year to come, you're going to feel like, okay, when I feel like I'm about to take a step back, I know exactly what I need to do to start moving forward again. And that's what I desire for you. And that is always an inner process. And so if your ego is like mine, it can start to balk and be like, I don't have time for this. First of all, it's not going to take that much time. Second of all, it's worth it in the long term. In the short term, it takes a few moments, no biggie. So don't allow your ego to freak out. Let's do a little process together. All right. And remember, please, you can't receive what you first aren't willing to give to yourself. And so this is how we demonstrate self-worth, that we take the time to listen into what we can gain insight on that will help us to propel ourselves forward rather than just being reactionary. So this is also an exercise of worthiness, of remembering how to receive, and we want to do this in our daily practices and opportunities that we are invited into. So you are worth it. Let's take the time to do this and let's begin. So I invite you to create some quiet space for yourself and set an intention for this time. What do you want to get out of our time together? Is it clarity, insight, the courage to be completely 1,000% honest with yourself? Whatever it is for you that you want to live more expansively in this next year, or you want to feel more resilient, you want to feel happier, playful, whatever that is, I invite you to just take a moment, that in, allow yourself to be in this present moment. You may want to light a candle to help you stay present. Ground yourself by anchoring in, seeing roots from your tailbone, from your feet, anchor into the earth, knowing that you are guided, you are protected, and you are supported to receive guidance and insight that is for your highest good. We're going to start with some simpler questions, pieces to look at, aspects to reflect on, and then we'll go deeper. So, number one, we're always going to start with gratitude because gratitude is such a heart opening space to be in. And so, with gratitude in your heart, can you reflect on what lit you up in 2024? In this past year, what lit you up? What was expansive for you? What are you grateful for? And you can pause this recording and so that you have enough time to truly reflect. So I'll give you a moment to do that, to pause, but I'm going to keep going for the sake of this recording and keep us moving along. 2, earned. Honor. You have made over the past year. There's aspects about yourself that you have learned. There's aspects about yourself that have changed and you have grown. And you may notice if you look on certain relationships or challenges that you've had, you respond to them differently, that you're proud of moments where you have responded in greater alignment with your truth. And perhaps those moments were scary. Perhaps those moments were even messy. But from that, you've learned more about yourself. You've learned more about life. You've learned more about the love and expansiveness that is you. So take a moment and write down, what have I learned? And as you do, I invite you to include an honoring for what this shift has meant to you. Because a lot of times what we learn are aspects about ourselves that no one else will see, no one else may fully notice. And that's why it's so important to take the time, because it has meaning for you. And the more we can celebrate this, the more we are welcoming in these types of shifts to happen more often in your life. So honor how this shift has impacted you. And yes. And as we come back, we're still on this question of what have I learned? And then reflect on, how did this shift that you have been able to create within yourself, how did this impact how you have shown up for others and for life differently? Where you notice that it has made you show up in a way where perhaps you're more compassionate, more in your power, more boundaried, more authentic, honest, loving. Name that and name that ripple effect, positive chain reaction you are creating again, whether or not others recognize it. It's important that you recognize this. And so give yourself a moment to reflect on that now. What's the impact that has impacted how you show up for others and aspects of life that has changed you and the positive chain reaction you are creating from that? Because this is how powerful you are. And we want to recognize and reinforce your innate power. So give yourself a moment to reflect on this. Pause, and we'll be back for question number 3. All right, here we are. Number 3. What am I still learning? We our learning and our evolution is progressive. Sometimes we'll have these, big aha moments, these big shifts in our trajectory. And those are beautiful and powerful. And if that's happened, we want to celebrate and that. And step number 2, what you have learned from that. Step number 3 is, what am I still learning? We want to anchor in where you are in this progression of learning certain skills, learning certain insights about yourself, learning how to be responsive rather than reactive and responding from your heart. What are you still dialing into? So there's a recognition of like, whoa, I've grown. I'm not as, let's take reactionary versus responding from your heart. Reactionary out of fear, you can see you're not as impulsive. Your emotions aren't coming out sideways. You're not, just saying whatever you want to people. And you've learned that doesn't serve you, but you still have moments where an emotion comes out sideways, where a certain trigger still gets you. And there's an evolution. There's this place of perhaps inner peace or greater alignment with your truth or your power, or staying in your sense of self that you want to get to, right? So we want to be able to acknowledge, hey, this is where I was. This is where I am. This is where I'm going. And we want to anchor you in and reinforce that there was a time when you were back in a reactionary state, when you didn't think you could be where you are today. And it's important for you to see that and recognize that, because from that, we're going to honor that you're still learning and that you're willing to develop the skills to continue to grow, to continue to evolve, to continue to build a skill that's important to you and your heart. And so, what am I still learning that I still want to expand upon, that I still want to keep growing? And when we learn to honor this, because so often our egos want to say, I've been here and now I'm here and I'm done learning and growing. And I don't know anyone that's done. Like when we're dead, I guess we're done, at least in this lifetime. But right now, we're here to keep growing. And if we don't do this, if we don't anchor in what we've learned and where we want to go, this is when we find ourselves taking 1 step forward, 2 steps back. So this is going to help you. It's like, this can also show up as like you get something mentally in your mind, but in your heart, it's not anchored in. So you may feel happy for someone in your mind, but in your heart, you feel slighted because you want that same thing and you haven't been able to attain it. So in your mind, that it's healthy to express boundaries. In your heart, you have a hard time disappointing people. So it's being able to see that there's a disconnect in mind and heart, that it's not fully embodied, and that's okay. The fact that you've got something in your mind is good, and you want to know where you're going, which is embodiment of your heart. So it's understanding I got a part of this lesson that I didn't have before, but I'm still learning X over here. And I want to really dial into that. Or I get this, again, this lesson in my mind, but my heart still struggles with why. Okay. So take a moment to reflect on that. All right. Hopefully you have really honored your growth and dialing into, reiterating where you have gained a skill and how you want to amplify it. Or where would it be supportive to have help? You, what would feel supportive to you? What will help you get from B to C? I started off at A, now I'm at B. What will help me get from B to C? And just lean into what would be supportive to you. You do this, notice if you're, well, we'll get it. I'll stop there. Just where would it be supportive for you to have help? Feel into that. If help was as natural as the sun rising each day, ask to receive. Pause and see what would be supportive to you. All right, we're back with number 5. Where did your ego try to stop you from receiving the support? I almost went there, number 4, because for some of you, it's so automatic to stop yourself from receiving. The ego just jumps right in and says, I can't afford that. I can't do that. I can't have that. And it's not true. This is part of your belief system that gets reinforced from your beliefs and then creates your reality that mirrors that. But that's not truth. We are meant to be supportive. We're meant to be supported and supportive to others. So where's your ego stopping you from receiving? So important, right? Because I hope in this next upcoming year, you want to receive more from life. But if you can't allow yourself to receive in ways that you actually need, how on earth are you going to start to receive all that you desire? Right? Like the icing on top of the cake. How are you going to receive that if you can't receive the main ingredients to make the cake? So this is what we want to look at. There's a family member who finally received help in cleaning her house. And all these years, she's been telling herself, I can't do that. I would be so lazy. But she allowed herself help, with having support, someone cleaning her house before the holidays, before all the family came in. And she felt so refreshed hosting this family gathering and was happy and playful and had energy. And she could not have had that without receiving support with getting her house in order. And to be able to receive getting her house in order, she had to allow herself to stop calling herself lazy for having that. And so you can see the ways that the ego gets in the way. I've got my college kids who are doing well in many classes, but they have certain topics, certain subjects that they're struggling in. And my guidance to them is to get support as soon as that new course starts. Don't wait until it's a struggle, because this is how you get ahead of the game. This is how you can recognize I've gotten from A to B, but to get to B to C, that's been a challenge for me. And I need support before my life is in chaos, before a grade tanks. We want to be in there and receiving support. And so How can you be aware of where this is an area that I've struggled? And it would be wonderful for me to be supported along the way. So take a moment and reflect on that. All right. Last but not least, we're getting into it. This is so good. Last one. How does receiving this support in your life tie into what you desire to create more of in your life this upcoming year? I'll say this again. How does receiving this support in your life tie into what you desire to create more of in your life for this next upcoming year? Because it always does. We always focus on the carrot that we want. Like, what's the carrot? I want a great relationship. I want a wonderful career. I want a wonderful vacation. And those aspects are beautiful. They're wonderful carrots to have. But if we only focus on the carrot, which we tend to do, we are losing the point. Your point, the point of this, the point of the carrot, why we have this desire is that it is going to require your growth to get there. So you're like, Michelle, how does a vacation require my growth? Well, maybe it's a dream vacation. Maybe it's a bucket list vacation. And maybe there is growth that needs to tie in that you show up more in leadership within your career. Maybe there's growth where to allow yourself to receive when you don't think you're worthy of it. And someone offers you this opportunity. Maybe there's a worthiness sense of spending money on yourself. Like, it requires growth to get to our desires, to get out of our own way. And whatever that piece is that your heart is saying, it would be wonderful to have support, I promise you it's tied into the deeper desire. Because you innately know where your heart is leading you to next, what that next carrot that would be wonderful for you to have is. And the universe, the divine, is guiding you to internally grow, to be able to expand, to receive that. And oftentimes it requires support from one another to create that, to co-create that together. Because this whole universal experience that we're having together is a co-creation. And we're weaving together these pathways to greater expansion, to greater love, and you being able to claim, yeah, I have this desire. I have this carrot I'm going for, and I'm willing to open myself to develop this skill, to receive support, to expand this part of me to receive it. That's the whole point of what spirit wants for you. Spirit wants that evolution of yourself, not because you're not enough as you are, but because it's leading you to more of the love that is within inside of you. And spirit knows that's going to feel amazing when you experience more of that expansive sense of love from within. And that's what this whole piece is about. We have these external desires as a way to allow us to grow that feels good spiritually and in our human experience as well. And so, but getting there sometimes doesn't feel good, right? And that's where the support can come in. You can get guidance from people who have been where you're at to help you know what lies ahead and how to navigate those challenges. You can get support by developing certain skills. You can get support in so many different ways, but it's being willing to say, I'm willing to receive this piece in my life so I can receive more. And that's what this expansion is about, receiving more of your true self. And that will be mirrored back to you as you receive more from life, more of those desires. So let me give you a moment to write this down, and then we'll come back with really tying this all together. So take a moment, pause, and reflect on this last question of How does receiving the support in your life tie into your bigger heart's desire? All right. So hopefully you took a moment to really recognize this piece, because this is the easier way to get you to where you want to go in the upcoming year. You have these beautiful desires, and we have to start to recognize that if you struggle with receiving in life, where you actually need support, how on earth are you going to receive all the good, yummy, juicy, extra bonus aspects of life that feel amazing to receive? So the support piece feels amazing when you allow yourself to receive it. And so it's allowing yourself this piece to come back to. The whole point of life is to remember the love that you already are. And when you know this, you know you are deserving of the support to keep you expanding, because your love is so important. Your unique imprint of love is designed for the ripple effect, the imprint that you're meant to have on others that are all a part of your sphere. And you have no idea how that evolution is supposed to unfold. And so, of course, you are being guided to be supported in powerful ways. Hopefully, this process is one of them. And if you desire deeper support with any internal emotional pieces where you understand that there's this desire over here, but something inside keeps you stuck from receiving it, then I would love to further support you for free in my upcoming chakra reboot. You may have heard me talk about this previously. It's a very powerful experience. It's hard to explain because people think chakras, okay, what are they? I'm going to share with you, first of all, more about what the chakras are, but it's really our internal energy that is within our body that is guiding you to understand where you are stuck and why. And that's such important information, because you can want whatever desire you have for 2025. Again, a beautiful, loving relationship, or a deep connection with one of your children, or a new leadership position within your career. And this internal piece is so important, because it's going to determine if you feel you're deserving of it or not. And what gets in the way are our beliefs. And luckily, we have negative emotions to help guide us to recognize where we have stuck energy and stuck beliefs that are working against the very desire that we have. Why does this happen? Because it's a form of protection. So we learn this form of protection, especially as children. It stays with us. They become patterns of behaviors that we turn to until we're ready to face them and grow. And the chakra reboot, again, is a free experience, a little bit similar to this, where I'm taking you through some questions, but I'm doing it. This was very much in the mind, where we're going through some questions and journaling. There is a bit of that, but it's also a bodily experience, where an energetic experience, where I'm supporting you to recognize your blocks and to know where you can dial up your energy to support you to free yourself from that block. So super powerful. You can sign up now for free. I'm going to have that link available to you so that you can sign up now. And this is all about supporting you to receive with greater ease. That's the whole journey, is to remembering the love that you are, so that you can receive with greater ease. And when you do that, you're reminding others that they can do the same as well. And it seems like, what's so hard about receiving? Our egos can really block us regarding our worth, our deservedness. and our understanding of the love that we truly are. We can have these beliefs that we're not good enough, we're unlovable, and they are so hidden from within, because that's our ego's job as well, is to defend us from our internal pain. But the more we're willing to look at these pieces, the more we can free ourselves. And when we're free, then we're more open and expansive to being able to receive. So that's my wish and my desire for you, if that is something that you want for yourself. So sign up for my chakra reboots and go through these 6 questions. Take the time, because they're really going to help you come back to, okay, I have grown. I can see from the previous year I've grown, and I worked on developing a skill, and it's supported me, and it's had ripple effects. And now I'm being called to be supportive and supported in another way. And I know if I dial into that, there's going to be positive ripple effects within me, within my life, and with those that I care about. And it's just an unstoppable positive chain reaction that happens to all of us when we are willing to lean into greater love and expansiveness from within. So rather than set intentions and resolutions where we try to power through, that the powering through only works while we have the motivation, and we need a commitment to ourselves that works when we don't feel like it. And when we don't feel like it, that's when having support is going to guide you, to support you to still lean in and remember your truth, so that you can keep on this expansive path and not just have to use willpower in your mind to try to power over things, because living that way is exhausting, and I don't want that for you. So go through these 6 steps. I hope this serves you and supports you and helps you remember that living more expansive is your natural birthright. And in any ways that you don't feel expansive does not make you less than, does not make you not enough. It's where you are at this time on your journey, specifically to help you remember the divinity within you now in this moment. And that divinity within you wants to continue to be expressed, continue to shine. And the more we can work past these layers of the ego, the more you're going to feel and experience that within yourself. And that is my hope for you, if that is something that you desire for yourself. So I hope that you can feel the benefit of living your life centered in mind, body, spirit, and emotion. We are whole beings. And the chakra reboot is really addressing all aspects of ourselves in mind, body, spirit, and emotion. Because if we miss a certain aspect, it reminds me of when I was working with couples, and one person was really growing and evolving personally, and the other person was left behind. This can happen inside of us. Our minds can get something, but our emotions can stay stuck. Our bodies can want to feel expansive, and our spirit can start to be closed off because of past hurts. We want to evolve all of these aspects within ourselves. So utilize these 6 questions from the standpoint of mind, body, spirit, and emotion. If you want more support, the Chakra Reboot is a free experiential practice there to guide you inward, so you're not alone and you can feel the group energy. I really work on a spiritual level as well, to hold you and to hold your energy as you allow yourself this evolution. So whether it's these 6 questions or the chakra reboot, I hope this is supporting you to remember that there is nothing to fix, nothing to prove, just to remember, and that you are divine perfection as you are, and that the love of the divine is already shining through you. And there is, if whatever the desire that is next for you, is your pathway to remembrance. So thank you so much for joining me. Happy New Year, and to all the expansiveness that is coming your way in this new year. Sending you so much love and so many blessings. Until next time. Please take care.
I am so honored you have joined me today. If you enjoyed the I'm Perfectly Divine podcast, subscribe so you don't miss any of our power-filled episodes. Also, if you know another who is strong, sensitive, and spiritual and wants to dive deeper into emotions and ancient wisdom so they too can create profound peace and fulfillment from within, please share this podcast. Thank you again for joining me, and I look forward to reconnecting with you soon.